have a meaning. Some people just they ask, why the hell do you bring that? That has nothing to do with politics, really. It has nothing to do with current events. What the heck does Jesus Christ and the number 13 have to do with current events? Well, because Christ told us that we were going to do evil things if we turned away from God. And that if we allow certain evil things to take place, if we let them become, if we now believe that bad is now good and good is now bad, Christ warned us about that. He warned us about that. The days when good will be called evil and evil will be called good. Well, folks, here's another evil deed that is now being called good. And it has everything to do with civilization being in such a mode where we don't have to worry about our everyday survival needs. It's just automatically provided for us. And this is the same in Europe. And we know that this whole marriage thing, same-sex marriage, didn't originate in the United States. It came from abroad, Europe. In fact, some European nations were the first on the planet to allow gay marriage. And we were told that, we're falling behind civilization. The rest of the world is far ahead of us, in civility. The United States has got to catch up. We're always, when it comes to new and different things in civility and accepting enlightenment, we always have to, here in the U.S., we always have to bow down to Europe. Oh, Europe is more enlightened. Well, here's something that's more enlightened, I guess. I don't think so. But somebody here is going to look at the enlightenment over there and say, that's damn right. That's damn straight. We're being disingenuous against our people here. They did it with gay marriage, and now we're starting to get it here. And folks, now we're walking down that good is now evil, evil is now good road. Because in Greece, although there is a slight public furor, the Greek government expanded their disability categories. A kleptomaniac in Greece is now recognized as a disability. You have kleptomania. It's a disability. You can't help but steal. Exhibitionist. Well, you can't help but take off your clothes in public. That's a disability. Now, you might think, well, we can still handle that kind of stuff. We just lock those people up. Not if they have a disability, you can't. And in this country, where we have the Americans with Disabilities Act, how are we going to accommodate them? We're going to have to accommodate them somehow. Because we have to, anybody with a disability, we have to accommodate because of the Americans with Disabilities Act. We're going to have to somehow, if the United States adopts the same belief that Greece has adopted, we're going to have to somehow accept and make room for kleptomaniacs, exhibitionists, and there's one more category, folks. There's one more category. Greek disability groups expressed anger earlier today at a government decision to expand a list of state-recognized disability categories to include kleptomaniacs, exhibitionists, and are you ready for this one, folks? Pedophiles. You heard me right. Pedophilia, according to the Greek government, is now a disability, which is a step into normalizing it and making it acceptable to normal civilization, to normal society. So remember that group called NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association, whatever it was called? Well, yeah, it's a disability. Well, hell, nobody's being hurt. It doesn't harm the child. No, look, I fully understand that there are some 15 and 16-year-olds out there that unless you looked at their ID, you would believe because of the way they looked and or the way they acted that they were 25. I fully understand that. We're not taught. Those kids aren't innocent. For whatever reason, whatever happened to them, those particular kids, they are rare. They're not innocent. However, you're the adult. And most of the kids that are being sexually abused are not aggressives, if you want to call them. They're not older than their years. They're innocent kids. Yes, and there are still innocent 15 and 16-year-olds, boy and girl, being taken advantage of, especially boys. So now is it going to be open season in Greece now for Greek boys? Because, hey, pedophilia is now a disability. So Greek women, Greek teachers who want to diddle their 15 or 16-year-old student, it'll be okay. She's got a disability. We have to accommodate. If the guy next door, who happens to be a 70-year-old gay man, decides that they want to take your son out on a date without you knowing about it and bring him home and have sex with your 14-year-old son, it's okay. We're going to have to accommodate because pedophilia is a disability. Folks, we were warned that this was going to happen. We were going down the wrong road. When you start to normalize stuff that should not be normalized, it is only going to lead. It's kind of like, most boys, especially boys, they get a hold of a Playboy when they're, in their middle school. Playboy magazine. I saw Playboy magazines when I was in middle school. A friend of mine, he'd sneak his dad's Playboy mag, and we didn't do anything with it. We just, we gawk at it. Oh, wow, man. Look at that. That's so cool. No, we didn't even say that was hot. That's cool. Look at those big boobies. Oh, your seventh or eighth grade back then, 6th, 7th grade boys. That's cool. Yeah, you don't really think about anything else. But then as you watch or you view more of it, the longer you look at it, the more often you look at it, the more desensitized you become to it. So pictures all of a sudden, that doesn't do anything for me. Those ultra pose Playboy pictures, that doesn't do anything for me. So now the pictures have got to get a little bit more raunchy. And maybe those pictures need to have some movement or motion to them, and they become videos or DVDs or movies. And then, you start watching, the tamer ones. And we know this happens. After so many hours of watching the tamer ones, guys don't get excited about it. It has to be a little bit different, a little bit more over the top, a little bit more edgier, a little bit, more grotesque if you want to go in that direction. It can't be the simple 60, missionary position making love. No. It's got to be, a little bit rough, maybe doggy style or something. I know this is probably getting a little bit. If you have kids listening, I'm sorry, but this is something you have to understand. The progressiveness of this type of behavior continues. And it continues in a society when you let something as quote unquote benign as gay marriage become the norm. Well, pretty soon it gets to the point, well, that's nothing. That's just so tame. And if they get to do it, why don't I get to do it? Because, this is normal. That's all normal. Yeah, this might be a little bit not normal. But you should, they were not normal at one time. Right? It was thought of as homosexuality. That's not normal. And now we think of it as being normal. Just an alternative. And now we're starting to see pedophilia being labeled as a disability. And understand this, it's not just Greece, folks. We've got people in the States, in Canada, in England, in France. These are mental health care professionals that agree with this assessment. And they say we need to do more to be more accepting of pedophilia, especially when the child wants it too. I don't know about you, but I don't know any 10-year-old girl that wants to have sex willingly. I don't know, a 14-year-old boys that want to have sex with an old man. But this is what's we're starting to go down this road. And unless something drastic happens, and that drastic means the destruction of our society in order for things to be reset, unless we stop and turn down a different road, we never go back. Once you go, it's like a one-way street. All you can do is keep going straight, or you can branch off. If we keep going straight, this is exactly where we're going. Pedophilia will become normalized. It'll be open season on our children. It's already starting, folks. Now, you might think, oh, no, that'll never happen. Well, many people in the 50s and 60s never thought that gays would be able to get legally married. There are a lot of laws that we have today. Nobody thought a long time ago that those would, they'd never do that. Then we wake up and find out, oh, yeah, they did it. Oh, the United States will never allow gay marriage. And now we're doing it. So don't tell me that we're not going to allow open season via pedophilia on our children. When the enemies of our kids are lining up all over the globe right now to be able to do just that. And they've scored a victory in Greece. Now you can say, Greece, they originated all that stuff way back when in ancient Greece. They may have. Well, wait a minute. Guess they weren't so enlightened then, were they? If they did all this stuff first, and now they're trying to bring it back, folks, we can't allow it. There is right and wrong, good and bad in this world. Sex between two consenting adults, good. Sex between an adult and a child, even if the child thinks they consent, bad. All. It's just plain evil, selfishness, and lack of self-control. Did I say it was evil? Yeah, pedophilia is evil.
I always loved watching the kids play basketball. I still do, even though things have changed. It's funny, they can't find jobs to get their careers started, and I can't afford to retire. And now we're all living together again. I supported President Obama because he spoke so beautifully. He promised change, but things changed for the worse. Obama started spending like our credit cards have no limit. His healthcare law made health insurance even more expensive. We've had stimulus and bailouts. Obama added almost $16,000 in debt for